Spark Information, the Everything Video, Part 9, picking up at 1 hour 33 minutes.
Performed, but you can perform whatever analyses you want. So just to show you here, when I hover over these checkboxes, again, you'll remember we went up and set up these three analyses: the competing data over 60 months, neighborhood data over 60 months, and then the competing data over 12 months, which are those three cards there. And again, if you didn't watch the part earlier, check the timestamps below and go check out how to customize the analysis and customize the charts, because that's where you can go in and set up all that stuff how you want to. Analyze price per square foot over 12 months, 60, 120, competing data, neighborhood, alternative, all that stuff. But as far as the trend dashboard, let me click over there and show you. So essentially you can toggle between the two. So I'm going to toggle over to the trend dashboard. So here's what we get. And at first glance, it might take a little getting used to, but what we did was we set this up so that you can analyze your market however you want to, but then also show your client just the results of those analyses. So does your client really, if you want to do a 24-month or 2-year analysis by quarter, does your client really need to see all 8 quarters? Is that really helpful to the reviewer or the reader of your report? Or is what really matters just the results of that analysis? Like, just tell me how much are things going up or down? What we think is the results are important. So that's essentially what you get here. So I'm going to click on sale price, which is this very first row of the trend dashboard. I'm going to click that, and it basically gives us the exact same information that we saw on the 1004MC. The only difference here on the trend dashboard is that you have this checkbox in the top left of each card. So I can click that and click that, and now if I hit go back, then what I'm going to see is actually those 3 analyses. So just like on the 1004MC, you saw the 0.9, 0.8, 0.5 over on the trend dashboard. I got the 0.9, 0.8, 0.5. And if I want to, this page basically of all this data is going to go into my report. I can allow that to just go right into my report if I wanted to. It'll look just like this. It won't have all this little data at the bottom here. That'll go into your work file, so it doesn't look really cluttery to the reader of your report. But basically, it'll tell them, okay, the appraiser analyzed competing data over 60 months by median sale price, and things are going up at 0.9% a month. And the neighborhood is that, and competing is that. And so you control what your reader's going to see. You can still perform any analyses you want and have them all go into your work file. So you can see I have actually 4 analyses going on, but the reader's only seeing 3. And I could get rid of this and only show them 2 if I want to. It's just kind of up to you. You control exactly what's going to actually go into your report. Everything goes into your work file, but only what you check here is going to go into your final report. And so let me hit go back again and show you what that looks like. So I've got this, and I can also hover over, click these little eyeballs, and they show me the actual chart and the data table just by clicking the little eyeball in each area. And when I hover over this row, it shows me details. Like down here, I can see the range is $90,000 to 1.1 million. The median sale price is 220. I can see the median price per square foot is 168. And so all that information is just right there. I can quickly look at it. I can also choose if I want to call it increasing, stable, or declining. And we'll get into the fluctuating there in a minute. And I can also go look at comments. So if I click view comments, I can see my comments regarding sale price. Seller concessions are also here. It highlights in orange the row that you were looking at, but I can go look at those, and I can also click edit comments, and Spark will take me to that screen so I can go and edit those. If you want to see more about editing comments, check out that timestamp below, and you'll be able to get to that part of this video. But essentially here, you have full control, and you can show your client just what you want them to see. And along that vein, I also can control not just the numbers they see here in each row, but I can control what rows are visible and what order they're in. So if I think, price ratio is not important at all, I can find that row, hit the X here, and say, yeah, I don't want that. And so now price ratio no longer even appears here. So if you don't want to include it as something you're analyzing, then you don't have to. It's just completely up to you. And along that same line, you can control what order they're in. So if distressed properties, maybe they're not that relevant in your market at this time, you can drag those down to the bottom. You still want to include it, but you just want to put them at the bottom. You just drag that down. You grab a little hamburger icon there, and you can just put it up and down wherever you want it to be. So I'll just put it there at the bottom. And then, like we talked about, I can see that, okay, they're not really relevant. So I'm going to say, are they a factor? No. And are they increasing, stable, or declining? Well, other than this one over 2 years, they're not, they're stable, so I'm just going to call it stable. And that's kind of how this works. You mark what you want to call it, and you don't have to mark that if you don't want to, but if you can, you do it. And all this up here is this little speedometer looking thing, is it's taking your choices and just telling you, okay, you made 0 negative choices, 2 positive, and 5 neutral, and that's where the number is. So over time, you'll be able to see this thing moving up or down, kind of telling you whether you have a market that's going up or a market that's kind of going in a negative fashion over to the left there. So just kind of a little indicator to you. This part right now doesn't go into your report. That's not for your client to see. It's just kind of a little visual cue to you. And there's no magic math here going on. All it is saying 5 neutral, 2 positive, and no negative, and that's where it goes. So if I chose a negative item, like let's say days on market is increasing, and you can see that's red, meaning that is a negative item. Days on market going up would be a negative thing. You can see declining green, and you can see that now a negative option is chosen, and the little speedometer thing went down a little bit to kind of compensate, to account for that. So that's the way that works, and I think that pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut it short because the laptop was getting low battery. So I'm ending this at 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 1 second.